to Opally Hour. Today we have issue 88 of the Moomin House build. Almost there, guys, getting there. And very exciting today. We are starting to build the outside wall covering. So very much looking forward to that. Hope these edges don't quite show as much as they do here. We're also going to be doing the rope ladder. Not overly looking forward to this, and they did say it was going to be issue 91. So we will be doing this too. And hopefully that will be easier than it looks. Anyway, we have Audrey, Glamour and Clark. So it's their characteristics: wealthy and self-centered. Yeah. So there's a little bit of flirting going on this one. And then we got Hiya Honey, Haven't We Met Before? Down the bottom there. And we also have Overcoming All Adversity, which is all about them sailing. And then we have our instructions. So we will crack on. Looking at this, it looks horrible. We will crack on with that. Let's see the parts that we have in this issue. So we have some boards that we're going to need to use. We have some string, and we have our template. We are going to need, if it doesn't supply it, which it doesn't look like it, then we have our two boards to go on our wall. We will need our wall. I think it's the first wall we built. And we also have some dowels. Not sure what they're for, probably the rope ladder, I'm guessing. So let me put all the rope ladder parts to one side. I only have one piece of card here and the rope ladder, and we will get things underway. Alright, what they want you to do is put a ruler underneath these and go by each piece and bend it slightly without breaking it. But I actually think it's quite bendy, so I am admitting that stage. We will see if that's a good idea or not, but that's what I'm doing. So then we are going to glue first of all the top part, and we will be using which piece? This piece on the top part. So top part is this one. We're doing it the opposite of what I said. We're starting on the bottom part. So I'm going to get my wood glue ready, and that's what they recommend. So we are going to go all the way up here. I need a lot of glue. As always, I have yellow line syndrome, and all the way to the bottom as well. And I'm going to go to the top, even though I know we're going to be using a separate panel. Now this is kind of bent. I've had this against the house, so I know it fits the house. So because my walls are have wiring and things like that, there's a slight difference with the flooring, so I know on some pieces it's going to look a little different to intended. This one's not so bad. Just make sure you get every piece of wood. And we will be needing our clamps, and for the rope you will need, well, you probably don't need, but they suggest double-sided tape to hold the rungs in place while you get your string on them. So I do have mine out, although they do say thicker than what I've got, but what I've got is what I've got. Go all the way down. Fortunately, wood glue does take a long time to dry. I'd hate to be doing this with super glue, is all I'm going with. You just want to make sure, particularly in the corners, that it is going to stay on. Actually getting a hand ache just pushing down on the glue all the time. But the glue will seep. I can see it starting to seep into the wood, and we haven't even got there yet. So I'm not bending it as they suggested. I'm just going with it, because knowing me, I would do it with a ruler, and I would find that I would break it, basically. Whereas this way works. in place. Like I say, there might be slight differences on heights and things like that on some of mine. But you want to make sure you get all the way to the edges of the wood. This one needs a little bit more this way, and that you have your window openings ready. And you can see that there's just slight differences, not terrible. Alright, that's on, so I'm going to get some clamps ready to rock and roll on there. Not so sure that we're going to need loads on the middle there, because I think if you get your edges right, it'll probably be okay. I can see a bit of windowsill here, and I think that's to do with the difference on my model. Because it's in line on this one. But just remember, you're not going to see this anyway. When the windows actually go in, you will, it will cover a lot of that. Just straighten this up slightly. Looks cool though, doesn't it? Kind of an exciting time. Maybe I should put one on the bottom here first. Here, come on. It feels better. Oh, as I break a piece of wood. Oh, it's not break. Yes, it is. Okay, I will do that in a moment. Broken as I thought, to be honest with you. It just needs a little bit of finagling. So I'm just going to glue that strip back in, and then we're going to be clamping this anyway. I had to go and get more clamps. I was running out. It took a moment to actually get it lined up. I think this is when you find out how square your whole house is, really. Make sure when I put this back in I have the clamps on the outside. That one broke off. There you go. I thought there was a break, and then I suddenly couldn't see it anymore. I'm going to put a couple of clamps on this because obviously we're rectifying a problem here. Done by myself, of course. I thought I caught all of them. I've been going around gluing them. Obviously missed that one. Alright, so that is on. I don't think it needs it around the windows. I think it's just fine on the edges here. Probably going to need them up here. Doesn't really have it much to go on there. Let's see what they're doing next. So it says if the wall doesn't fit snugly, apply a little quick drying glue to the joints on the inside. Well, as is snug, maybe a little too snug. And then we are going to do this top one, making sure that we join. How is this going? Oh, I see. These two strips go in here. That'd be interesting. So let's get more glue on here then. And on top here, and we will have to get some clamps on here. I can see that. Actually, I think what we're doing is we're putting some cardboard panelling on there, so I don't think I'm going to worry just yet. After I've done the panelling, we'll see how much I want to worry about it. And this I can see needed pushing back in anyway. Oops, definitely doing the yellow line. And I'd say it's better on this part to do more than less, but try and avoid getting your glue on your blue walls. I have no idea what effect that would have. and then we're going to turn it up, and I guess where the seams are, these seams, is where cardboard's going to go against them. That one needs some more too. So this is kind of going to make sure it's all really square. Right. Need to take shares in wood glue. Alright. And then this will go in here. I'll have to go and get more wood clamps. And square it up as best you can. You want this going in, and this is where mine's definitely going to be slightly different, I think. Alright, let me go get clamps, get that on. Right, and then we are turning it over and going to be putting in 2 strips here and here of this. So I want you to cut it in half. And obviously that's just to keep that panel in place really. And what glue are they suggesting? Wood glue as well. And this is to make sure all these plates are kept in and that they're straight. So I'm going to need to get some clamps on there, and I've run out. So, oh no, I've got 3 more. Alrighty. It says white side up. I don't think it matters. Maybe it does. I don't know. I actually push that one out. Okay. This one needs a clamp here and here. So let's see what I could do. I still want to square it off as such. I just need one more. Where can I nick one from? Let's get from there. On this one, I'm gonna put that one down a little, like so. Could do with one here. Nope, that needs to go there. Ooh, yeah. It's looking quite the clamp situation going on. Alright, gonna get this sorted and put it to one side, and we'll move on to that ladder. They actually show it as having quite a few obvious seams, like you can see here that the seams are there. I'm hoping that I'm not going to have that. We will see. I will show you when we're finished doing the ladder, and we can see what is what. So, first thing we are going to do is we need to cut the dowels, but before that we also need to cut this in half and join one to the other lengthwise. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're not using the cardboard, it's a template for the rungs of the ladder. Rungs. So basically they want you to join like this. So it says use glue or tape. That makes sense to use tape, doesn't it? Let me go grab some, I didn't get any of that. Actually, or would it? Would that not get in the way? Do they need to overlap? It looks like something like that actually. Okay, you'll glue it. I'm just thinking like with tape, and then we're going to put double-sided tape on it. It's going to Might be too much. So something like that, I think. Okay. My little crocodile clips together. And we will do that. Line them up again because it came off a bit. Yeah. I need to get more of these clamps because I have so many extended. Right, next, while that's doing that, we have to do the wooden dowels, and these are all going to be 24 rungs, and each one is 2.4 centimeters or 24 millimeters. So each one will just be under the half, something like here. Now, in the past, when I've done it with a knife, it hasn't worked so well, so I'm going to try and get one and then use that as a template. Which is also not working very well. Anyway, I have to get 24 of these, so it doesn't have to be perfect because remember it's a ladder and it kind of looks like a rough ladder. It doesn't look like it's meant to be all prim and proper. So you just want to get 24 of them. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to use my other ones though to do this. They're a little stronger, I think. But I will get that done and I will be back with my 24. By then the glue should have dried and we can go to the next point. Alright, so each dowel they gave you, you roughly get 6 with a little bit over, basically. A little bit of waste, which is terrible. Next, what they want you to do is take your template and put double-sided tape on it, I have got, and put your 24 rungs, keep saying it wrong. Oh. Wow. Okay. Stay wider than this, and mine's obviously very crooked, and that's okay. Take off the tape and hold your rungs there, and then so we're going to peel this off, put each of these on with the rough same distance as either side, and then we're going to be using our string to thingy it, you know, join it all together. Alright, I'll be back when I've got, I'll show you the first one, if I can get this off. So all you want to do is put them on here, like so, using the template and have it roughly the same both sides and straightish. Right, I will go ahead and get those 24 done. There. I just realised that was totally out of shot. Anyway, so you roughly just want them to have the same distance either side. Alright, those 24 are on. Next, this comes with 2 pieces. So take one and leave about 3 centimeters at the top, roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. It looks a lot longer than that, what they've left on theirs, but 3 centimeters. And you put it on and wrap it around your stick. Pick it up. We should have known about this technique. I did a ladder like this for a fairy garden my sister and I made, and I sat there painstakingly doing every single one. And then if you have this one on the outside, just got to make sure you do the same on the other side. My run's all moving off the tape. Alright, and then when you've got one and you're happy, you apply a little bit of super glue, basically, on it and push it down. And then you carry on. This is a brand new one, so probably loads will come out. And then you carry on all the way down. New lot would come out. You super glue every single run like this, and just keep the same direction, and then when we come back we will do the other side. So any adjustments are now or never. I'm just going to get tissue to wipe up some of this excess. It says press it down, but if I pressed it down I would stick to it, so I'm going to press it down like this, I think. And give each one a minute, so this is going to take some time. So you want a little bit of wood showing on the outside as well as on the inside, like so. I'll give that a moment, and we do the next one, and then I'll get on and do the rest of this side. Okay, put this run back where it should be. Would have been easier not to have put all the runs in actually. So if you're keeping this strand that you're working with on the outside, then just make sure you have it on the outside all the way down. So I'm going to put the super glue on first this time. So loop it around. You see what I'm doing? I think so. And press it down. And keep doing that all the way down and super gluing it on every step. And it's easier to put the super glue on first. They say to do it afterwards, but it's easier first. And that looks roughly like they're saying. And then on to the next one. I mean, they say to put the super glue on after you've gone around, but I think it's easier to do it this way, to be honest. It's running away with me. And just keep it equal. I don't know if it would be easier to do both sides and go down one at a time, or do it this way. I knew I'd stick to it. Ow. Of course I would. I almost think it would be easier to run the two at the same time. Some of my runs are coming off anyway, so let me do that. So roughly keep the same amount of string at the top, and you should, by the end of it, have roughly the same amount at the bottom. So I'm going to measure it against each other. I'm going to put it on this one first this time. And because this is going on the outside of this one, you would do the same. Once it gets started, it's not terrible. It's the first one that's the worst. So like that. And just keep that down for all 24. And you'll be fine. Alright, I'll see you in an hour and a half then. Alright, so 15 hours later, maybe not quite that long. Actually, it was kind of fine to do. I did get halfway and actually take the runs off of here. I found that a bit easier. Other thing I found easier was put some greaseproof paper on after gluing the tops, and also sticking the next rung underneath onto the rope, and then just leave that there for about 30 seconds for the super glue to take effect. So one thing they say is make sure that any leftover, and they show it to be about this size by the way, is not cut off, because you will need it after you've installed it on the house. This is how much I had left over, so makes you think you've done something wrong when you've got that much over. But anyway, and then they say, and it may not all be dry because I've only just finished it, is to remove it slowly as I'm pulling away from the template. This is the last one I did. I kind of wanted to show you. Remove it from the template and it looks like so, which actually looks really cool. Got no issue with how it looks, to be honest with you. I mean, the end is, you know, got the size that they said, and it's got very long tail, but they say not to cut it, so I'm not going to do that. Let me put that for drying and I can show you what the wool ended up looking like, because it's been a while, so bear with me. Right, and here we are. So it actually ends up looking actually really quite nice. So this is the bottom. I mean, you can see where those joins are. I'd like for that not to have been the case, but you can. However, you know, no house is perfect, right? You just have hoped that it wouldn't have been like that. However, I actually do think it's really nice. I quite like the colour, and I think it's not as blue as the picture kind of shows. Looks more blue, doesn't it, really, than this. This is more teal, I'd say. But I still think it looks really nice. Anyway, that is this one done. So let's have a look at what we got going down next. I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of that. So let's see what 89 has to offer. And 89, I have super glue everywhere. Okay, we are going to be doing half of wool. How weird. Half of the surface of the frame assembled in issue 81 with wool panels. So it doesn't tell you which wool it is, so it's going to be a bit of guesswork, I guess. Maybe that's the second wool we did. But then we are also going to wallpaper the inside of this one. So, like so. So it's got two different wallpapers on every floor. From what I can see, these are going to be like cardboard paneling. So that's what we are going to be doing in 89. So looking forward to doing that. So please do like and subscribe. Any comments are welcome, and I will try and get back to you. Or you could email me at opallyhour@outlook.com. So that's just the name of the channel, at outlook.com. And most of all, do take care of yourselves. Bye bye for now. Take care. Bye.